Ever wondered why your irons work pretty well some days and your woods don't? And of course vice versa, some days your woods work really well and you couldn't hit an iron for love nor money. Well, it's not just you. Don't feel it's just yourself. It's actually a scientific reason behind why woods and irons differ in a round of golf. And I'm going to explain to you right now some of the measures that you can actually create in your golf swing to assist you to understand the difference between woods and irons and to successfully master both clubs. So let's talk about these factors right now. An iron is designed where the sweet spot is set back from the hosel. So there's quite a bit of loft there. Therefore, the golf ball has to be struck on the downswing. A wood, however, through a lot of scientific measuring, has been found that the wood should actually be struck on the upswing somewhat of 5 or 6 degrees because it's teed up and played well forward to get optimum launch and spin. We'll go into that later. Therefore, if you're hitting a wood on the upswing and an iron on the downswing and you're trying to make the same golf swing, there's going to be a huge amount of directional factors that come into play. So let's talk about what they are. Okay, so as you'll see here, I've got my wood teed up probably on my left toe, almost nearly in front of my left shoulder socket, and I'm going to catch the ball on the upswing. Now, because the golf swing works in an arc, if I catch the ball on the upswing, my club face will actually be closed, pointing to the left with a square path. So my ball will actually go left if I catch it on the upswing. So what do? Just accept it going into the left trees? No. I actually need to play what we call a closed plane line or a closed stance to compensate for this. So I actually need to aim my feet slightly to the right, my direction of force slightly to the right, understanding that I'm catching it on the upswing, which will influence the ball to the left. Both of these factors will counteract each other and my drive will go perfectly straight. So you're saying, Steve, that aim right with a driver and hit it on the upswing? Yes, and you should hit it straight. Now, that's been something that I never used to teach in the past until I understood the concept that I'm explaining to you today, which is called the D plane. D meaning descriptive plane. And this is actually from Theodore Jorgensen's Physics of Golf book, and I'm going to translate it to you in a lot more simple terms. So there's your woods. That's how you hit your driver. Now let's talk about irons. Varying degrees of angle on the iron. I have a 6 iron in my hand here, and I have a 9 iron below, will mean I will actually have to hit more down on the ball with a 9 iron and more sweeping with a 6 iron. Mind you, I'm still actually taking a divot and hitting down on all of these shots. Therefore, the more down I hit on the ball, the more outward my club travels. So the more it actually influences the ball to the right. So I actually have to aim left, hit down on the ball, and understand that will actually make my golf ball come out straight. Bit crazy, isn't it? But you might have seen on the tour, you'll see all the pros, if you study closely watching the USPGA or European tours, you'll see all the pros playing at least a 10-degree open stance for most irons. And that's why they do it. And their divots will actually point left, because that's actually the line of force that they need to create if they're hitting down on an iron. Now a 9 iron has more down and a 6 iron is more sweeping. Therefore on a 6 iron, I'm not going to have to aim as far left as I would with a 9 iron. So when I'm saying aim left, I'm talking about either slightly open stance, you can have open shoulders if you want to, or you can just aim straight but swing left across your body. Probably explains why most pros are trying to fade the ball these days. It's a lot easier than trying to draw the ball and swinging outward. So to summarise all this, hit down on your irons, swing more left with a short iron, swing less left with a mid iron and a long iron, hit up on your woods and actually swing to the right and aim yourself to the right to get your D plane and neutralise all those factors in the golf clubs that help make the ball flight for you work. One thing's for sure, golf instruction's come a long way and we're very fortunate to have access to all this science to understand all this, because the old days of just teaching ball flight laws and square paths and square faces are gone. This great science that we have access to now is really helping solve a lot of problems for myself and my students, and I'm really, really happy to have presented this series of Golf Zone and Coach's Corner segments to you. I'm really hoping that you've gained a lot of insight from them, and if you can implement just 1 or 2 things each week into your game, there's no doubt you'll be better and more confident golfers.
Golf Zone TV is proudly brought to you by the Golf Zone online golf shop.